So, Chrissy, they let you out of the kitchen.
They did. I made it up to the front. I was in my dungeon.
I'm just glad that Paul's going to let us actually work together on this. But my understanding is you're not going to let me do any work. I just got to watch you.
Yeah.
Is it because you're the pro?
Pretty much.
Because you're the expert?
Yeah, and I mean, it's pie crust. It's like, it's not really...
It's not something two people get their hands
really
on or whatever.
Like,
so we're going to do a pie crust. And you've
Yeah.
got your ingredients laid out here. So talk me through this
really
as
simple.
you walk me through this.
Okay, so traditionally, if you were using gluten-containing flours, pie crust would be a 3-2-1 dough. So you do 3 parts of flour, 2 parts of fat, 1 part of liquid.
Okay.
Typically, the liquid in a pie crust is going to be really, really cold ice water. So you're trying to leave the butter in its little cold bits so that when it bakes, you get the little puffs of steam in there that makes it all nice and flaky.
Okay.
But
look at the science in that.
I know, right? So we're using our gluten-free flours, obviously, because dotted line. So that's what this is. I've got, okay, segue for just a moment.
There's no such thing as timeouts in this.
Time out. I need to talk to you about this for just a second. Okay. You need a kitchen scale. Like, bottom line, you got to have a kitchen scale. If you want to bake gluten-free, you got to have a kitchen scale. Everybody's gluten-free flour blends are different weights and different combinations of traditionally the same flours. So you've got your white and brown rice, you've got sorghum, you've got buckwheat, you've got teff, you've got potato starch, tapioca starch, arrowroot. You've got all these different gluten-free grains that all have a different weight. So if I mix up one that's 50% brown rice flour, it's going to weigh more per cup than somebody's that's traditionally more on the starch end. So tapioca starch or something, you think of like a baby powder or a cornstarch.
So the weight is more important than
the weight is much more important than volume. Right.
Oh.
So this is where a lot of people really screw up gluten-free baking.
Then that's something people need to know.
Yes, you need a kitchen scale.
Why don't we just tell them?
They're like,
are you listening?
Less than $20 on Amazon. You just need a little scale. Okay, so this is going to be...
But that is intriguing to me because it may look like it's like less than a cup, more than a cup, whatever, but it's really the weight that is...
It's really the weight that matters, because if I tell you 210 grams of all-purpose flour, it doesn't matter if you're using Bob's Red Mill or you're using Pillsbury or using your own blend. 210 grams is always going to be 210 grams, which is what this is. 210 grams.
And it's in the bowl. See, I know I could have done that.
I know you could have done that. I'm sorry.
It's killing you.
Now, what we also did here is we've got our 210 grams of all-purpose flour. I've used a pinch of xanthan gum. Okay, so that is going to be about 2 to 3 grams. So if your scale will do teeny tiny amounts like that, you can do 2 grams of xanthan gum. I literally went like this with the xanthan gum.
So 208 grams of the other and
210.
Okay, so
and then a little pinch of xanthan gum. Okay. Now I've also added 15 grams of sugar, 4 grams of salt, and 4 grams of baking powder.
Right.
So these things are going to equate to about a teaspoon of, about almost a teaspoon of baking powder, almost a teaspoon of salt, and about a tablespoon of sugar.
Sounds good.
So that's your about.
That's our base.
You just insist that you are not going to spend less than $20 and buy a scale. Okay, so this is your flour base for your pie crust.
It looks beautiful.
It's so nice.
Let's put some fatty stuff in there.
Yeah, let's do that. So I've got here 84 grams of butter. It could be 85.
You like to get your hands dirty.
I mean, you kind of have to, you know?
Yes.
Like, this is one of those things where, I mean, you could use
I can hold that for you.
Why don't you do that? That'd be great. So what I've done here is I've taken a stick of butter and I've weighed out my 84 grams. And then I went ahead and just cut it into little cubes like this. Then I stuck it back in the refrigerator. Yeah. So I went ahead and stuck it back in the refrigerator after I'd cut it up because I wanted this to stay really cold. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're not going to use our food processor or our KitchenAid mixer or anything like that. We're just going to make a tiny bit of pie crust. It's okay. We do not have to get out the KitchenAid. All right. So my tip on this is you don't want to smush your butter to death. Okay. We don't need it. You
just want those little cubes you were talking about. We want
those little cubes. So what I do is I stick my hand in the flour like this and I pull out to where I have these little bits of butter in it and I kind of smush them in between my fingers like this. So I'm forcing the flour into the butter and I'm also flattening these little pieces of butter at the same time.
Which could be fun.
It's kind of therapeutic. You're like, who am I frustrated with right now? Smush them like this.
Paul. That's who you're frustrated with. I saw how y'all, when y'all filmed together, I can see it.
A little
the tension.
He made me just hold some stuff, like, you know, I don't know who
Kind of
would do
like
such a thing.
who would do that to you?
Here, hold some bay leaves and some peppercorns. That's your job.
It's all right.
I was a really good
It's
holder.
I'm
though.
learning, so I'm learning.
So this is.
You want me to pour that milk on top of your hands?
No, I really don't.
I'd be glad to.
I'm good.
I got no problem with it.
So that's not just milk. It's actually milk with a little bit of apple cider vinegar mixed in.
So you want an acid
Yeah,
for some
well,
reason, or
the apple cider vinegar is actually going to help eliminate some of the toughness that happens in your pie crust. You know, have you ever had like a pie crust and you're like, this is terrible? It's,
well, I would say
like you eat the
probably
filling out
more
of
of
the
the
pie crust.
gluten-free. You
Yeah.
probably have more of that issue with
Well,
those than you do
you
with
go one or two ways. You have one, it's too crumbly and it all falls apart.
been seen that.
Or it's so tough it's like a piece of shoe leather in the
Right.
bottom of a pie pan.
Right.
So I add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to almost everything that we do,
Okay.
just because it tends to add a little bit of the tenderness to the doughs. So I've got this pretty much ready. It's
Yeah, we don't
it's
want to
not
lose them, so we're gonna keep
perfect.
rolling.
It's
what
not
we got next?
it's not like
But you
super,
do have to spend time doing it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not. A lot of people tell you you want it to look like coarse sand or something like that. I mean, it's pie crust. It's not.
Yours is more like sand and pebbles.
Yeah, some sand with some
Or
pebbles.
flat skipping rocks.
Sure. Yeah.
I just want to make sure they know how
Whatever.
to explain this. So.
I mean, it's but you could kind of force it into a little clump if you'd like.
Oh, the
but-
bell rung. You're done.
I'm done.
All right, next
Time's
step.
up.
Next step.
We're gonna make a little well.
That was the drive-through bell, just so that y'all know.
There's another bell coming.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna realize.
Oh, they've just decided
They
that
realize we're
not
closed.
open today. All right.
And now they've driven away.
Moving along.
All right, so we're gonna make a little well in our flour mixture here, like this. We're gonna just make a little spot for our liquid to go. Okay.
Pour it in.
So got really cold milk that's got the apple cider vinegar already in it. It's not a ton. It's just 120 grams of milk and then 15 grams of apple cider vinegar. And I did weigh it. I didn't.
It's because you
do
have to have a
volume.
kitchen scale.
Right. I mean,
Who doesn't
not
do that?
hard. And then you're not getting every measuring cup and spoon messy in your house because it all just gets weighed into the same bowl on the scale. It's really nice.
You
So-
really like this kitchen? Are you like a sponsor for kitchen scales or
I'm
something?
not, but I should be.
I'm thinking
You should
you
get like a
should be.
patch.
Hey, for Behind the Line, we're looking for a sponsor that's a kitchen scale. We really aren't, but we'll take one,
I'll take
right?
one. I'll take a
We'll
sponsor.
take one.
All right, so this is coming together really quickly.
Uh-huh.
Now you should also have a little cup of ice water next to your table, just in
For a
case.
while.
Well, like if you're mixing this up and you've still got a bunch of crumbs at the bottom of dry flour, you don't have enough
Are
liquid.
you hinting that somebody should get some for us?
No,
or
it's
you
fine.
good?
I
Okay.
just keep it on the side just in case you need it. And then if you do need to add a little bit more flour, or a little bit more ice water, you've got it sitting there.
Okay.
So this is our pie crust.
Nice.
And it's super fast. And like I said, we're making a single crust recipe. So this is just going to be for the bottom crust only. You will have a tiny smidge left over for, if you wanted to make some cutouts for the top of your pie or something like that. But this is just about enough for one.
Nice.
Okay, so what I do is I've just got some plastic wrap here. You can use parchment or something like that if you want. I just find that plastic wrap works really well because nothing really sticks to it. So what I would suggest doing is just go ahead and kind of flatten it into an approximation of the size that you're going to want to do. And then you're going to stick this in the fridge.
You want to
So
cool it.
you're going to chill it down so that you're not working with warm butter. So you can see in here, I don't know if the people on the video will be able to see it, but you can see little bits
I can
of
see
butter
'em.
still in there.
Yeah, they'll be able to see
So
it.
those are going to be delicious. You're just going to leave those just like they are. So after this has been chilled, it's much more difficult to roll out. So you're going to get some muscle. So it's kind of a workout.
All right.
So you don't have to go to the gym. If you're going to make pie crust, you're like, I'm good.
There it is. No workout.
Yep, check.
This
Done.
is your workout.
Yeah. So this is obviously has not been chilled because you just saw me make it.
Right.
So we're
So
just
you
going to roll it
would
out.
you would actually put it when you said chilled, you'd put it in there in the lump
just like
form.
that. Like I would
And
flatten it
now-
out to
yeah,
a disc shape because then it's got more surface area. It's going to chill down a little faster.
Right.
And then you don't have to work so hard because it's already going to be sort of in the same type of shape that you're going to try to force it into once you start rolling it out.
Right.
So we've got our little pie crust here. The other reason why
Can
I like the
can I
plastic
pick this
wrap,
up?
yes, you can. The other reason why I like using plastic wrap is because alternatively you could put flour on your board and you could sit here and do flour, but then you're adding a whole lot of flour to the stove.
Right.
And we just
That would make
don't
sense.
want to make it tough. So
and
then,
I gotta tell you, that looks like it's a whole lot easier because it doesn't stick to everything.
Sticking to everything. And like this is a pretty soft dough. So I like the looks of this dough because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, it's a soft dough. That means it's probably not going to be able to be super tough.
Right.
So, and then once you've got it like this, you just sort of lay it in there. And then while the plastic is still attached, this is your chance to sort of get it in there all
without
nice.
it breaking apart.
Right? Yeah. So use the plastic wrap as your friend.
I'm telling you what, there's something about learning from the professionals because all of that makes perfect sense as I'm watching it happen.
Well, because then you can smooth it and you can, make sure you've got it all in the little seam there on your dish.
Now I see why you wouldn't let me touch any of this.
It's just,
Because
you
want
just
it to
need to,
look
this is the time that you learn. And then the next time you can do it and you can touch all the things.
Will you actually?
Absolutely, yes.
Y'all heard it.
The next time we make pie crust together, I will let you do
You heard it here.
So then I'm going to take this plastic wrap off. Okay. See how nice?
It looks good.
And then, you're just going to kind of, get rid of some of this stuff on the edges. So this is what I was talking about when I said, you can roll this out and make it into some little cutouts. A lot of times for Thanksgiving especially, people want to roll it out and use a maple leaf cutter, and they'll put a little maple leaf on top. You can do all
that's
that.
what I was
that's
thinking.
fine.
I mean,
sure.
I know
that's what you were thinking. You were thinking, what would be great
maple
here?
leaf right
is a
there.
maple leaf.
Yeah,
Maybe a pumpkin with some little tendrils.
I was actually thinking an oak leaf.
Yeah. And
is that okay?
Too. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You do you. So
You probably don't want me to do me. I promise you.
So if I had some flour sitting here, if I was better prepared, I would show you that just having a little bit of flour sitting on your hands there is going to make this procedure right here a lot easier. So.
Well, Chrissy, thank you for sharing this with us. For all those out there that are going to be making your pies for Thanksgiving, now you know that there's a great gluten-free way to do this, like the pros.
Yep.
Hey, listen, if you liked Behind the Lime, spit it out.
Behind the Lime.
Not the food, but yeah, Behind the Lime, then we want you to subscribe. We need for you to subscribe. That sounds so awful, doesn't it?
I still don't know why.
Yeah.
But subscribe. You know what it does? It just feeds
your ego?
my ego.
There you have it.
Subscribe. Feed my ego.
You got the last word.
No, I didn't.